loved right, you love right.
Absolutely.
Until they don't pay.
Then you talk to the ace.
You know what? I was actually just looking at a graph 2 days ago that was showing it was like a thermographic image of people in despair, that are people who are in anxiety, blah 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 blah, and then they had love and joy, and it was so apparent the energy that your body has and emits, and that a thermographic image camera can capture when you are in love or joy versus everything else, even just neutral. And it's just so, you look at it and there's 7 of these other places that you can be mentally, and with love or joy, your whole body is just lit up.
I love
it's
that.
It's really cool. I mean, it's something that it just really spoke to me. So
got to switch him over.
It's so cool that they had a study on water.
Yes.
Water it has memory, right? You can
Dr.
program
Emotive.
water, which is why they actually mine ice sculptures to be able to get the history of
And there he goes.
And he's coming back in. We have a new.
There we go. There.
And so the point I was making is that they did a study where you spoke or played music or talked to plants or said positive things in how the plant grows. And so it goes to show you that not only are we connected to nature, and that the environment, right? The environment of which.
And once again,
there
it is.
The environment.
Yeah.
Is he the Tupac hologram voice? Man. Is he real? Is he not? Yeah. a little urban. Let me get back into my debonair.
So hey, you know what? I'd like to give you a little sample. We showed it to the viewers before, but Jack, can you put it up? Show him the screen of all the channels, because his channel will be right here on our network, the GGNN. Can we get a picture of that? There it is. You see it?
There you go.
Nice.
So we're waiting. We're going to have your graphic up next week, so your channel will be there. There's more channels. I just can't get up and scroll right now.
Look at that.
We have the NMLB network, the NFL network, all the different sports. We have our own sports because we did get the contract. We will be doing some coverage of FIFA for the World Cup, and a lot of us are going there. So we're going to be there in Qatar, doing a little announcing. Are you there, James? Stick your head in, buddy. There you are.
Hi, James.
So what'd you think, James? Did you see the channel?
This is the gentleman that I was speaking with, who met with Ron Brown. He's going to explain. We were looking to call Ron Brown right now and get him live, if James agrees. I skipped the meeting yesterday so that he could have. I have a tendency of upstaging people, but being his big brother and somewhat manager and business partner, it's my job to do something called warm up, and so it's going to be my privilege to.
The suspense.
Yeah.
You're right.
It always ends right on the suspenseful word, right?
Dr. J, you want to hear James's first question? He's like, how is the camera looking both ways? I said, that's Dr. J.
Well, it's a transgender camera.
Oh, good. That was good.
Well, we have cameras all over the place in here. So we are obviously a broadcast studio. So we have the ability, and we can't wait to share some of this technology with you guys so that you can expand your good global news. I say it wrong every time. Global good news. There it is.
And I think
that's it.
You having lived out here, I mean, obviously you're going to come out and say hello, right?
Yes.
I'll be here this weekend, right?
We were actually driving out this weekend. Dr. Jerry had proposed for me to do an interview with him, and we have.
And the suspense continues.
Keeps me coming back.
Yeah. Hold on. Could he come back?
Media broadcast podcasting. We were happy to realize that at first we were a little bummed that we couldn't drive out and see you guys in person and do the interview. But then we were happy to realize that we were the first guinea pigs of the technology. So we just wanted to say thank you so much to allow us to test the technology, because it's very important to what we do here in Los Angeles, which is a lot of us are getting shadow banned. We're not able to freely express our true heart and our true desires due to media shadow banning the truth. And the reason why with our Truth podcast, we want to be able to connect all people. We have a concept called Funded Fridays, Family Reunion Funded Fridays, and we want to bring back the concept that we're a human family. Yeah. And your kids have to go outside and play with my kids, right? Exactly. And no matter what we teach them in the home, we're still connected as a community and as a nation. And we have a saying here in Hollywood, when LA sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And we also have a saying on our Truth About podcast that when the truth is busy getting out of the bed, a lie has been around the world. So with that being said, with the help of Ace Media Network, knowing that the servers can't crash, knowing that IPs and technologies like this exist where we can create conversations that could utilize us as a nation, as a people, collectively. We can create initiatives. We can utilize the voice and all of the liberties that our country was originally established on, that we're seeing stripped from our very eyes. And now it's infringing upon our God-given rights. And it's just a blessing that you guys are prepared for a time like this. And we want the responsibility and stewardship as GGNN to, be the mobile podcast on site, really getting the heart, right, of the people. Because I think with your technology and with your infrastructure and with our network and our reach, like I was Neymar's representative in China. I represented him. He's the #1 soccer player. So we could easily tap into Neymar and start doing content through Ace for FIFA. It's just things in relationships like that we have, like this gentleman behind me that I brought, who brought a $20 million building. He bought a $20 million building in Inglewood, partnered with the Inglewood mayor, didn't pull a single penny out of his pocket. And he's 29 years old. And when I walked into his office for the first time, I said, I not only want to film this, but I want to learn how to do that. And I'm not leaving until such. I don't care what movie production calls me, because real estate is the only thing next to the cannabis industries that's going to sustain our economy in our country. And I firmly believe in what he's doing in Inglewood, and now having Ron Brown and the NFL and NBA association behind him. They immediately came in and said, hey, anyone who wouldn't get behind you would be a fool. He does something called bottom-up finances, and he uses an eco-friendly material.
And the suspense continues.
He's good at it.
He is.
Yes.
Right at the power line. He gets it there. Okay, now he's
I
back.
want to know what they're doing too.
Comes the hologram.
Like
He's
really
back.
stuff.
Okay, so
$20 million. We need to get you at least $150 Wi-Fi.
yes, Daddy. Thank you.
Got that Gavin
Thanks,
Newsom
Pops.
Wi-Fi going on.
I think so.
That's awesome.
So, long story short, it was just a blessing to have him be acknowledged by Ron Brown, who's an Olympian athlete, ex-NFL, who sits on the NFL Association, Players Association, where they invest the money of the players for retirement. And so Ron leaves a voice message in a memo speaking about James and how he just loves what Living Transform and Living Possibilities stand for. And he covers the United Nations Emissions E3 Act that cuts the emissions by 2025 by 3%, 3 degrees, based on him not using a special proprietary material that it does not cause the use of concrete or trees or power. So I will let James explain what Living Transform, Living Possibilities is and what he's doing in Inglewood and how we partnered by going through the podcast, uniting the athletes and the players and us taking accountability for our communities that we somewhat destroyed and now have to rebuild. And when we say destroy, meaning not in a negative connotation, but in a way to where we should have taken responsibility a long time ago. The Section 8s, the food stamps, and expecting reparations and handouts are not going to get it done. And damn near marching and burning it down is damn sure not going to help. So now you have a economic movement in the communities where people are opening their own businesses. They're wanting a more healthier lifestyle. They're growing their own foods. They're becoming vendors, right? And creating this new economy that wants a healthier life, that wants a life of love, that wants a life of peace, that wants life. And I think this is something that's thriving throughout America, that we need to focus as global good news, that there's a spirit still left in America of those that believe in God, first and foremost. Secondly, that believe in the people and the things that the people can unite around. Instead of us focusing on the indifferences, it's time for a change to where we shift our consciousness and focuses on the things that make us the same. With that being said, James Ward.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Awesome, man.
There we go. The crowd is on its feet. They're throwing money. There
man.
could be a parade tomorrow.
Very well said.
And then he cuts out. Come on. Come on.
James, like, give me
James, give me a look. All right, there he is. Now he's back.
How's it? Hi, everybody.
Hi, James. Congratulations on your building.
Yes, that's so
Yeah,
awesome.
what a-
That's what an achievement for a young guy
Yes.
and a good-looking guy.
Thank you. You guys are all beautiful looking as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's a check.
So I'm not sure where to look.
Well,
Welp. Can't look yet.
we got to get him back.
We had a good run.
We did.
Good.
Wait. He's coming. It sounds like he's back. He's coming in. There he is. Now he's back. All right.
There you go.
So Darius is giving me some acting lessons, because I'm not used to being on camera. Living Transform started in 2018, the beginning of 2018, and it was when I decided to shift the business focus to basically mine for social currency. It falls under the lines of social equality and basically focusing the business on society. And with that, I introduced the platform for eco-sustainability. So I joined a nonprofit called Living Future Institute, and they're responsible for the Living Building Challenge, which is basically like LEED certification on steroids. And once I was introduced to this group, it really pushed me to understand that I'm not doing enough for the climate and the carbon footprints that are left in our atmosphere. And so I decided not only to develop with eco-sustainable building products, but I also decided to attempt to usher in the way we build real estate as a whole, on the whole globe and the whole planet. And that's what Darius was alluding to, the 2030 plan, which was to lower.
Ta-da.
Lower.
And in 5.
4. There he is. Okay. Yeah, you're getting a little closer to the Wi-Fi. Thank you. There you go. Now I can really see you guys. All right. Perfect.
So where did I leave off?
Lower.
Lower, and we were on hold.
Lower the
the global temperature by 3 degrees, and that's a goal that we need to reach by 2030. So basically, I embedded this whole concept into the business along with technology, and I've always been an innovative person. So those are the 3 pillars of Living Transform, and the foundation is built on real estate. So I've spent the last 10 years of my life in the real estate industry, and we still are. We have a real estate brokerage, construction company, and we're real estate developers as well. So that's kind of Living Transform in a nutshell.
And now talk to her about the meeting with Ron Brown, the sports topic. We have 2 MLB professionals that would love to have a steak or at least say hello to Danny, my man.
No, Manny.
No, Manny.
Manny. Oh yeah, but
And there he goes.
I'd love to be invested in some good real estate.
Yeah, this sounds really interesting.
Okay, well, hopefully they'll. Well,
My apologies.
There you
my,
go.
my apologies, brother Manny. My apologies.
Were you able to hear me, or did it cut out?
No, we cut out.
No, I didn't hear it.
No, I was just saying. It's always a good time to be involved in good real estate.
Mm-hmm.
we're all into real estate. I mean, but I love what you're doing. You know,
Yeah.
your outlook on life, the two of you. That's why me and Darius have been friends for years. We're very like-minded. We want to help people, help the planet. Through that, we do podcasts. We're doing television. So anytime that I can give you a plug or bring you on, I would like to be able to bring you guys on as guests for even the various shows, because Manny has his show. Right, it's called Game Faces. Why don't you tell them a little bit about your show there, Manny?
So my show, call it Game Faces, because not only am I going to be talking to people who are faces of the game, but they're also able to put themselves in situations where to perform at their best by either, some people have an alter ego. Some people just psych themselves out. They listen to music. When you played hockey, you put the music on. But it's basically just discussing how people are able to do that, what kind of techniques they use, because in sports, we have sports psychologists, and we go over all these different techniques to try to get in a zone, and everybody's different. Like Cam and I, we played baseball together, and I was always kind of high-strung, and he was always really relaxed. So it was about calming down and figuring out. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, man.
I love that.
You
I
were
love
a
that.
calm down kind of guy, and I was a hype up kind of guy.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we have a lot of baseball players and different people in the network of athletics that we can help go within our network to help you with the cast members.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It would be like interviewing guys like yourselves. I mean, just what are you guys to be able to spend 10 years of your time, especially being so young and already having the success you've had. It takes some balls, you know what I mean? It takes balls to sit there and to try to change something or make it better when other people, they want to stick to what's always comfortable, the way it's always been. And so it can be a challenge. And just, I mean, there's a mindset within successful people that I want to tap into and really share, but I don't think it's a one size fits all. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just so.
Well, I think it's good
exciting.
because you're bringing the diversity. We bring in someone like James to help them in that transformation. They have money. They just got out of the game. They're looking for real estate. They need somebody that has
And
that
that's another
like-minded
avenue as well.
person. So now you got an MLB lead-in to all the players who will be either cut, let go, traded,
Or you just get old.
or they just get old and want to
Injured.
retire.
So
Yeah, it's interesting that I love the concept, especially because a lot of in my day-to-day activities, I treat it like I'm still playing basketball. Especially, I'm sure you guys have heard this phrase before by a coach. You have to know your personnel.
yeah,
Especially if you're in the position of distributing whichever ball that sport you're playing. And so I do that with different people that work in the company. You have to know your personnel.
Say hello to the beautiful Sarshi. Speaking of personnel, we want to come right here. Stay right here. Say hello to everybody.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
hi. What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah?
Sarah.
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 Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Nice to meet you.
We wanted to show a beautiful face and
Yeah, thank you. We needed that.
explain what Sarah has did in the short time. She, as a friend, I've known for maybe 15 years, and found out she went to school for law, a law degree, and unfortunately, due to COVID and things that are happening in the economy, she had to shift from her current job and profession in beauty and get into real estate. And when we did her background and realized she went to school for law and she had a passion for real estate, I knew immediately that James could use someone that, if they had the right tutelage, the right teaching, that the student could become a teacher. Mm-hmm. And within 40 days of her coming here every day, being on time, not asking to be on salary or anything, how we the model you taught, Dr. J, we eat what we kill. So she had to go through our leads of loans that were already closed that she just had to process. And James taught her the strategy of processing loans and learning banking and calling the lenders and from the client and watching her growth and seeing her transformation, the living transformed to become a living possibility. It's scary to realize what we can do if we go live with telling people we have a credit division for credit restoration. We have a home loan division where we can get you up to $1 million financing for 3 to 5% down over 18 different programs. We have seasoned corporations that through our joint venture with another accounting and CPA office, they give us 30 different seasoned corps that allow for us to be able to create development capital for our clients. Of course, if they meet the requirements of the CFO, which is 720. I know your legs are hurting, sweetheart. You can go back. We just wanted to see it pretty
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations on that transition too.
Yes.
Thank you.
She said, thank you. This is what it's about. It's like, you go to church and you hear the pastor tell you all of the good things and you feel with the good vibes and the good energy. And then how does it transmute to you activating it to real life tangible results?
Yeah.
And so we have something here that people all need to learn: banking, their credit.
Always the good part. Always the good part. There it is. Well, we'll get him back. There, he's coming back in now.
There we go.
Yeah, what I was alluding to, you have an opportunity to what we call edutainment, where with this going live, where this should be taught in schools, like how do you manage your credit? How do you open up a bank account? How do you file for your first home? Like, they
don't even teach kids to write a check.
No.
Like they don't know how to write a check.
No.
Well, they're not
I mean,
even
a
teaching
check.
cursive
Who writes a
anymore, so
check
there's no
anymore?
signature.
Yeah, but you still need to
That's
know
true, you
how
know
to do it. There are certain things you have to write a check. They don't know how to do it. There's a lot of things that schools have given up. I mean,
Yeah.
cursive.
Yeah.
They don't even teach cursive
So you
anymore.
won't have a signature anymore.
Yes.
There's
How do
things
they?
that will absolutely affect every single person's life, no matter what, and they
Yeah.
don't teach us any of that
No.
getting out of high school.
No, but you know what?
Life
Even when you go to
skills,
college, they teach you to be a good employee. They don't teach you how to run a business. When you look back at that Rodney Dangerfield movie, Back to School,
Oh, yeah.
that was probably the best education
movie,
that you could get, because he's like, first, you got to grease the waste management. That was my best impression there. Hey, I tell you, forget about it. All right.
I literally have
This is edutainment.
That's right.
love that
We
word.
can train people and we can educate them while making it
Edutainment.
hilarious.
Yes.
Edutainment.
That's what Global Good News Network's motto is about. And we got a slew of celebrities and A-listers. For instance, our first documentary, Second Unit, with our partner Jason Strickland, that you heard about, and we sent the video Velvet Studios that will run the
Yeah,
clip.
we're watching it today.
Yep.
You guys can run it, and if you want. And it's a studio where we just
Shoot.
Well, that didn't cut out.
YouTube, right?
He's going to come back in, I'm sure. There he is.
documentary that we created a bidding war between Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu, just to name a few. Ace should have been in the hole, but long story
There you
short,
go.
you gotta give to get, right? So we're thankful to get the attentions of Ace Media, because now that we have the attention of the world, we can leverage from the bidding war of Netflix, Amazon, Hulu.
Hulu. Is there any others?
Hulu.
Please share the others with us. Can you come on back?
Come on back.
There he is, number 4, coming in. Can you hear us, brother?
So so what we've been able to do with Second Unit is we've been able to create a documentary.
Is that a man purse?
That is the worst. Get it right there.
That's his that's your fanny tag.
That's a Gucci fanny pack?
No,
No,
that's
that's
Louis.
a Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. Sorry, I'm not into.
Where's my girl? You know what?
Right?
That ooh wee Louie.
You know, Darius, I know my Louis, right? Oh, and there he goes. In striking
Look at
such a
that.
nice
Yeah.
pose. He's like, my Louis.
We'll get him back. Here he comes.
You know what? She can come with me on a red carpet anytime.
Thank you, Darius.
So you just gave away my ticket. Appreciate that.
Bummer.
Tickets. I had the privilege of going to my first waste management. You were saying what Rodney said, waste with Dr. J and his sons. Oh my goodness, I could not explain how fun I had with the hockey. I had the college two hockey rival us.
The two rival. One more time. Coming back. 3, 2, 1. He's back.
And he's back.
All right.
True story, guys. So please lace your boots. Okay. This is a true story that the Ace Media founder himself, he gave me a $10,000 ticket and I was able to meet Mr. Barrett Jackson and also walk around with both college hockey teams for ASU and Arizona State. And I had the best time of my life at the waste management event. If anybody's a part of the Arizona community, you know, this is one of the biggest events and sports related events that brings the whole community together. Hopefully we could be able to broadcast once it comes back. But I just wanted to say the reason I brought that up was that with Jason and what we're doing with Second Unit is the magnitude of the content of being able to take a Mark Wahlberg, a Keanu Reeves, a Halle Berry, a Charlize Theron, and sit them down with their Second Unit stuntman or woman and be able to get the true story of what it is for them to put their lives on the line. And the documentary did so well that it got the attention of the actual Academy. And they had realized that there was not a category for stuntmen and stunt women or Second Unit in general. And so the documentary has now created the attention and awareness for the Academy to make that a reality. And so it's going to be nominated and we help play a producing part. We help with a funding standpoint, but it goes all to the founder and creator, Jason Strickland, who you see in the Velvet Studios video, who was Jessica Alba's boyfriend on The Secret World of Alex Mack, which was our biggest break and show that we started in together as kids. I was the black guy on there. A small little role, 5-year run with Jessica, Larissa Olenek, and some very great dear friends that are icons and tycoons that love the Global Good News Network, that are looking to get back to, you know, bringing a light. There's some people in Hollywood that are of light and are of God that need a platform to kind of like, yo, you know, it's a little dark over here, so we're not, you know, don't get us caught up in thinking that we're all like that kind of thing. So we've been slowly but surely preparing, watching what the news was doing. We established the People News Network, the Kids News Network, the Hood News Network, all brought to you by the Global Good
Now,
News.
you got to explain the Hood Network.
do
Is
wanna
that
know
like,
about that.
all right, there's a shooting at the corner of whatever, Main and 3rd.
The Hood News Network is like us taking accountability for what we're doing in our communities, right? It's like,
Oh, okay, so it's an uplifting.
Cool.
It's neighborhood.
yeah,
Neighborhood
it's
patrol.
It's like, okay, you can't go say, okay, Black Lives Matter when you killing yourselves.
Right.
So Hood News is more, it sounds more like a cliche, but it's really it should be
I love
called
that.
Accountability News Network. Does that
So
make
you're pointing
sense?
the finger.
Accountability in the Hood Network.
You're pointing the finger.
It's
You're
like,
accountant.
It's like,
Finger right here.
it's like look at what we're doing to ourselves. So you're gonna have real reporters from real situations like, no, this is what happened, and you know, and being able to get that side of the community that you never heard from a solution. We don't need to be pointing
Right.
fingers.
Right.
We need to have solutions. So I'll give you myself as an example. When I got pulled over by the police officers and I had a George Floyd incident because 3 black suspects were on a high-speed chase, and they got in an hour high-speed chase from Encino to Glendale, and I happened to be shopping there in my Nipsey Hussle Crenshaw authentic sweatshirt that's like worth a lot of money on the internet. If you ask any kid, if you had the official Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, there he goes.
Did he pause on nip?
No,
Or did he get the whole nippy in?
I think you got Nipsey. That would be
Nipsey,
Nipsey,
okay.
not Nip.
No, no.
Like having a Babe Ruth signed autographed card or ball, right?
Uh-huh.
Long story short, I had this incident happen to speed it up, but what it happened, it dawned on me that while God had put me in the backseat of a police car, I had the knee to my neck, slammed to the ground,
Wow.
50 guns to my head, and you can go watch this on TMZ, and I didn't have 1 ounce of
Dang, don't leave us hanging like that.
Try not to pound.
Oh, sorry.
And we'll bring him back.
fear. I didn't have any anger. And at that time, I heard the voice of God. I know it because, you hear the good angels, you hear the bad angels, but when you hear the voice, that singular voice, it's a calmness that comes over you, which is what you guys witnessed was happening to me as the police are slamming me on the ground, putting their neck in their guns in my face. And I could see them wanting to pull the trigger, but it was like,
And coming back.
see that they wanted to pull the trigger, but they couldn't. And it was like something was stopping the force of like, they wanted to get me, but they couldn't. And I was just this calm at peace because I heard the voice. And long story short, the reason I went and had to experience 5 hours of sitting in the back seat.
We just got to get him some internet.
Yes.
It's a compelling story when you can,
The
when
real
you really,
Yeah.
what's next? What's next?
So you keep freezing at the
guys are on
exact
the edge of your
moment.
seats,
We are on
Yeah,
the
you're
edge
like,
of our seats.
and then and we're like, what? What?
And you're
Tell
going to
us.
shadow ban me on Ace Media again. And long story short, I felt that I was put in the back of the police car, me personally.
It's always when he gets to the back of the police car. There's something about that back of the police car that just continues. Try it again. Back of the police car.
The reason I feel that I was put in the back of the police car by God himself was for this very reason, which became a solution. And
Amen,
that
brother.
reason was
Amen.
I heard the reality of our world. Okay. Murders, kidnappings, robberies, child abductions. I heard
What'd you hear, Jay? What did you hear? There we go again.
Right.
the
This is.
There you go.
I heard the real reality of what our world was really about. And I started to kind of like cry inside. I couldn't cry in front of the police officer, but I just started to weep inside, like almost like the weeping of like Christ calling out to God saying, did you forsake me? Like, because it was just, I was so embarrassed and felt so bad for the police officers. And then the
Disappointment.
police officer, he came into the car and he says, what's your name? I said, Darius Love. He goes, I said, Darius Love. I'm here to Darius with love. And I said it with this same big smile, like, and he's got the white card out and he's like, okay, what's your story? I'm like, just finished filming a movie in St. Louis and I'm here with my fiance shopping. And next thing you know, I hear freeze. And, being a black man in America in this day and time.
Freeze means freeze.
Freeze means freeze.
Right.
Yeah.
So he goes, all right, kid. He slams the door. He comes back. He goes, all right. Now tell me your story. I said, sir, I was here shopping with my fiance. I'm on camera. She took me in the Apple store. She made me get the Apple Watch, took me in the H&M, all of the women's stores. I'm on camera, sir. I don't know what's going on.
I think that's why he was a suspect. You're in all the women's stores.
All right. I said, that's my story. And he's like, all right. Comes back and goes, so what do you do for a living? He's still on the white card. It's like 4 hours have gone by out of the 5 now. I go, I'm an actor. He goes, you're an actor? I go, yeah. He goes, I'm an actor. I go, oh, really? He goes, yeah.
You're killing us, Darius.
Hey, it ain't him.
I
Okay,
know.
one more time.
So he goes, yeah, I'm an actor. I go, really? He goes, how long you had your SAG card? I go, 35 years of my life. He goes, you're 38. I go, I know. He goes, well, guess what? I said, what? He says, I was NWA.
Can you
Say
say
it
that
again.
What?
He said, I was in NWA, the movie.
Oh, NWA,
I said-
the movie. Got it.
I said, I was in NWA, the movie. He goes, yeah? I go, yeah. He goes, I was in the scene where they said, you know, the concert scene where they're singing the song, Fuck the Police. I'm going, really? I was the voice of Tupac, and that's how I'm feeling right now. He falls out, busts up, laughs. It's like,
Good
you
line.
it cut the ice. You could hear a church mouse piss on cotton. It was so, like, it just cut the ice, right? And so he's like, man, you're so cool, man. He's like, hold on, man. Like, hold on, man. I'm on your side now. Like, really tell me your story. Like, I'm trying to help you. I'm like, I got your fiance. She's good. I didn't know they put dogs on her and went to her car and tore her car up and all that. I would have went crazy if I'd heard. I would have lost the state that God had kept me in the spirit of calmness. This is why the Love the Civilian Law and app that I'm going to explain to you, and the solution was just, it was a solution for our country. You have to hear this. And I told Dr. Jerry about this first. Like, and he's like, I'm going to take you to the guys. You might get to go to the shooting range, kid. Give me a cigarette.
He doesn't smoke.
That was a good impression, right? So
Spot on.
no, thank you, brother. I just had my stack car back, James. So long story short, he's laughing and he's going, okay, man, now they're gonna come here. I'm like, who? He's like talking like they're gonna come here, like he's talking like, man, you're about to meet the biggest police, like the David of Goliath of police officers. He's like, they're about to come here, and you need to tell me everything that is really going on, because if they get here and, you know, I'm like, sir, I don't know who they are, but when they get here, I'm going to tell them the same thing. So he's like, dude, this kid is cool.
He was trying to psych you out.
Yeah. He's
Like you're going to change your story.
He's like, this kid is cool as a fam. Like, we just told him I got his fiance to be in custody, and you better tell me the truth. That didn't work. Now he's like, okay, they're coming. They happen to be the head sheriff, head of Glendale, head of LAPD, because this was nationally syndicated. This was a live hour high-speed chase live from Hollywood, California. And
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
And
That's nuts.
I think he's coming back in 3, 2, 1.
and I pop up as the suspect that's guilty, okay, of this
Crazy.
home invasion, high-speed chase. Long story short, that same police officer drives me now because the head sheriff who lost those 3 suspects during the high-speed chase identifies me as one of the suspects. Yep, that's him. Book him. Now, I didn't go, oh God, like Christ, did you forsake me? God, what? You told me. He said, you're in my hands. So I said, oh, okay, I'm not going to say nothing. I was trained not to say nothing. So I didn't say nothing. The only thing they asked me is, do you want the AC on? I said, yes. And then everything else I told you about the card. Because when they ask you about the card, you have to answer, right? So I didn't ask like, oh, I'm cold. Oh, the handcuffs are hurting me. They had double handcuffs on where usually you would get bruises and cuts the next day. I didn't have no bruises. I didn't have no neck spasms with a neck on them. You ever had a police put they full knee, right, on your neck, like this part of your neck, like the weak part, right? Like this part, like the brittle part, right? So
He is an actor.
Yeah.
like my neck is supposed to be like broken, like, right?
Wow.
I didn't have no bruises, no scars, no elbow scrapes, and I didn't end up dead, and I didn't end up in jail because the West Valley police officer went back, did his job, grabbed the tapes, and showed the sheriff, who said, yeah, this is our guy, because he didn't want egg on his face in front of the whole nation. He needed someone to take the fall. Who better than the guy with the Crenshaw sweater on?
Wow.
And do you think something that helped you as well is just that peace inside that, you know?
It saved my life.
Yeah.
It not only saved my life, it helped me to realize what God was doing. So when I went into the jail and I went into the car and I understood what these police officers go through every day, every second, putting their life on the line, a certain humility and a spirit came over me to come up with the Love the Civilian Law app. You're going to love this. So long story short, I'm now sitting in the cell and, it's all concrete. I'm in my shorts, man, and flip-flops and a Nipsey sweater. I went from them turning the AC on in the car to them too much AC in the jail cell to them giving me a blanket. And the only words was, would you like AC? Sure, in the car. Would you like a blanket? Sure. Thank you, sir. Through the whole 5 hours.
But those two inmates cuddled with you to keep you warm, correct?
I was in a cell by myself, but luckily the two inmates were the two officers from West Valley that to this day, they Facebooked me and said they never heard anyone speak so articulate and do what I did the following 24 hours. Wow. Live at press conference with Johnny Cochran as my representative, the lawyers of the Johnny Cochran firm.
I was just watching that last night.
I went and I told the truth. I went and I said, if it wasn't for the West Valley police officers doing their job to go and get the tape to prove that I was innocent and went against the word of the sheriff who said I was guilty, I would be in jail fighting for my innocence, and I probably would have had my head blown off if these guys didn't do the job by the book. So here's a story and a testimony. I'm Darius Love that I want to thank the police officers in West Valley.
All right, there we go.
Thank them for doing their job right. And I'm here to live and tell that there's a broken system. They have the highest suicide rates. They have the highest divorce rates. They are the biggest
alcohol.
I started doing my research and started to see how the mental and the stress and the depression that comes with this job, and there's no type of solutions or therapy. So the Love the Civilian Law is you come into a classroom setting and there's a police officer and there's a student from K-12 all the way up to college, and they face off and then the lights go dark. And then you hear the sounds like I heard, and then boom, the light spotlight comes on, and next thing you know, the police officer and the student gets to reenact, narrated by actors, DeSandra Blonde, Trayvon Martin, all the cases that went bad from a civilian standpoint, from a police officer standpoint. It opens up dialogue to create mental therapy. And the second phase of the Love the Civilian app and law, the students leave from the civilian course with a curriculum and a card. When their ID is asked for, they get the Love the Civilian law to show that they have been humanized through the police officer's experience, and the police officer has a certification that they've been humanized from the civilian experience. Now, the second phase of the therapy is a police officer goes to a live simulation and they reenact those same cases that went bad. And in that, the algorithm of the app builds an algorithm of emotional intelligence. And if they're not operating under emotional intelligence, the gun doesn't fire, which is backed by a human, civilian, Love the Civilian team that checks the AI, because you have the human overseeing the AI overseeing the human of emotional intelligence from the algorithm. And this is the Love the Civilian app and law that allows for us to protect one another.
Well, you know what? We actually have a video for this specific purpose. And we'd like to show it. Jack, if you could cue that, the Walker one. I think you need to see this, Darius, because this could be used very highly with some of these kids and these police officers, because
I need you to partner. All of the agencies, we can go in and sell this as a curriculum. I want to become the Black Anthony Robbins, and I want to connect the Black community, especially the Black males, with creating a solution versus a problem, to where it doesn't look like a sellout or it doesn't look like a pansy act, and it helps the police officers to get respect again, because these men and women are putting their lives on the line.
Well, they got a bad rap throughout this year.
Yeah.
It's a bad rap.
Now, there's a couple of bad cops, maybe but they're not all bad. There's a couple out there that maybe stray. I'm not going to say that they're bad. They go astray a little bit. But Jack, do we have that clip that we can show?
Just bad.
Yeah.
Because I need Darius to see
It's
this.
bad.
Jack, do you have that clip? All right, hold on. They're queuing it up.
The studio
Because
looks
I
great.
called on this.
You guys are great.
No. Did you see
I love
that?
Jack.
Jack's behind the scenes here producing the show. So I
shout
thought
out,
we
Jack.
had it ready, but I guess you can't flip it in to the. Take our screen away and just use it if that's possible, because I think it's worth it for everyone to see. Because if that's possible, if not, okay. Well, Darius, we love everything that you're talking about. I mean, right now, anybody join in. But you have such a good outlook on life. It's so positive and refreshing. And I'm so
infectious, man.
honored to have you on the show. I'm honored to be your friend. I think you just made 4 new friends here, just because of the vibe.
Not you?
Well, I've already been a friend. I'm
Okay, all
4 new friends.
I just think that you have you're showing the perspective of somebody who's willing to consider everybody's point of view, and that is very hard to do because it can take somebody out of their comfort zone, and then also alienate. Some people don't want you to do that. They don't want you to consider the
The alternative.
And so
When you
credit
have-
to you, man. That's
It's-
how you bring people together. It really is.
When you look at all the different perspectives, it's like you said, it's difficult to do, and it makes you take upon yourself as well, because you have to work past your own shortcomings to understand where somebody else is coming from in a lot of cases, and having something that kind of forces people to do that and do it in a way that just brings people together and is spreading the good news. Can't wait to see it, man. Can't
I
wait
love
to
Well
help in any
said,
way we
Mr.
can.
Lowe. We have to lead by example.
Yes,
we have
we
to
do.
lead by example.
You're taking that guard down. Everybody wants to have that guard up, and you're bringing it down. That's awesome.
You're doing it in such a positive way that I think everybody's dropping it, to a level that it becomes acceptable again. I mean, the whole politically correct, you can't say anything now. You're
No.
afraid to ask for a straw.
Yeah.
You can't even do anything. I've never been afraid to ask for a straw from anybody. I need to stir my mixed drink. Right? Darius knows that, but he doesn't drink.
Well, I just want to say, if we, right, it says if you can save one, if you can save all, and that the gospel is the good news. And the good news is the embodiment that whether Jew or Gentile, whether white or black, Esau, Jacob, and Ishmael are brothers. We come from a family. And a lie, right? The lie that the devil created upon us is that he proved that he didn't exist. And who is the he? The he is God. The whole world believes that God doesn't exist. So for that reason, we act in our lower state, in our lower being, our inner enemy. Our greatest enemy is our inner self. And I say that as great words by a fallen friend of mine by the name of DMX. Earl.
Yeah, he just passed away, didn't he?
Passed away today.
Just passed, and that was his quote. He says that our greatest enemy is our enemy. And I just want to end on that note. And I'm here to continue to say all praises to God, and the God that gives us life. We don't marvel in the creation, but the creator. And with that being said, I thank all beautiful ACE broadcast media team, and we're looking forward to continuously connecting the human family so that we can reunite back on the love that created us and the love that will sustain us. So I'm Darius Love. I'm here to Darius for Love, Global Good News Network founder, co-founder.
Thank you,
James.
James. Thank you, Darius. I appreciate you
That
guys
was awesome.
coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Hollywood,
right.
California.
Peace.
Bye.
See you guys.
Love you guys.
All right. So
Wow.
that was our buddy
Great
Darius.
Yes.
That was, we can take these off because he just dropped off. What an exciting call that
Wow,
was,
that
huh?
was
Yeah.
cool. That was
Man,
great.
he's onto some big stuff
That
that's
is
going to help
huge.
humanity.
He's going to help all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, including the shows that we're doing. I mean, you think of the stars that are now participating in this. We're showing love here in Arizona, doing these podcasts back and forth, showing each and every time, allowing them to come on, and we can give them our say from this side. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it I agreed with. There is not much I didn't disagree with, other than him not being here.
Yeah.
I really wanted him. I was
Yeah.
trying to get him to come out here, but
Well, he's in my old neck of the woods. He's in Woodland Hills. That's about 2-3 miles from my mom. So
Oh, really?
next
No,
time
that's,
Oh, that's
about
cool.
40 minutes. The last time we took a road trip,
3 miles.
he said 40 minutes because they were enjoying time in the back of the RV while I was driving,
Okay.
right? And they were having a great time. It was fun. So I would say, hey, I've never been to this part of California. I would look to Cam for some guidance. And he's like, oh, you're on the whatever highway. So as we're driving, I would say, okay, he would say, when you get to like this giant rock that you can see, we're getting close. So I would call up and I would say, hey, Cam, is that the big rock? And he goes, yeah, we're about 40 minutes. He'd go back and have some fun with everybody that was in the back. And then, I'm driving along. He gave me another like landmark, right? And then I get to that landmark and he go, yeah, it's only 40 minutes from here. And I go, that's what you said 40 minutes ago.
I didn't want you to
far
get
is that?
discouraged.
I know. And you didn't because I kept going and going. Somehow I think I just drove like halfway around LA.
I took you in a big loop. You didn't even realize.
I didn't realize. He just kept saying go left.
Funny.
And eventually
That
we
was
cut
fun.
around. But
That
that
was
was
a
a
trip.
good trip. We had a really fun time. We wrecked somebody's driveway.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Coming out of Ryan
Actually-
Braun's driveway.
Ryan Braun is a player, another
Okay.
MLB, and we stopped
One of
by.
our former teammates.
Yeah.
And
And-
he's got a big, beautiful house in Malibu. And
Now he's got a split driveway. So to give you the quick and skinny, those roads in Malibu are so thin. Like I had an RV. There's no way I could do a U-turn. So I said, I just kind of like backed into his driveway to do like a 3-point turn and go out. So, I'm only looking out the window. I got the stereo on. I got two guys on either side, and I'm looking out the mirrors as I'm backing up. Cam's like, "Come on, yeah, you're good." What he doesn't tell me is that my trailer hitch is just grinding through his fresh new blacktop driveway that was probably laid a month earlier, and then as I pulled away, he's like, "We're going. You think he'll notice?" A divider? You don't think he'll notice the divider?
made a trench.
Oh,
He's
my
got
God.
lanes in his driveway.
So
Yeah.
Cam's like, let's just go. If Braun calls me, we'll be okay. I'll figure it out.
I texted him. I
Yeah, he
was like,
texted.
"Hey, man, we took out a little bit of real estate on our way out. I'll come back and patch that up if you want." But he was like, "Don't worry about it, man."
Oh, that's cool.
He had a beautiful house.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
What I really liked is his jersey holder.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was the coolest jersey holder. Do you have a jersey holder?
I have a frame.
He's got this like it's a catalog, and there are these plexiglass things about this, and he just slides
them
out,
out.
and
Cool.
his jerseys are.
But it was
all
it is a
folded
whole
in.
rack of them. So it
That's
was like
very
this
cool.
shut.
Pretty
It was
cool.
like a kind of like an accordion type thing. It just he pulled them out. And it was
That's
really
really
neat.
cool.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
He had it built. It was you could tell he put some money into that because
Oh,
that
yeah.
wasn't
That's
off the
awesome.
Costco rack. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
they-
He
saying?
knows some
Definitely
people.
He knows. Some people.
He's
But he had a
connected
beautiful
in
house
Hollywood.
looking over the
Nice.
Malibu lake, or I'm sorry, ocean. Sorry, I'm from Chicago. It's all lakes.
It's all
You
lake.
can hit a 7-iron into the ocean from his backyard.
No
basically.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can. I don't know if you can, but
Wow.
Yeah, I'd use a 9, but
oh, boom.
Boom, boom,
I'm on
boom.
the putter.
Where is it?
No,
over
where's
there?
that favorite sound of Manny's? Don't.
Hey, I want to go back to something though. How cool! I've thought about the idea of putting people in these situations that, and I've thought of it not just the police encounters, but in sports in general. Trying to put somebody in an actual position of, unless I misheard him, it sounds like he's doing simulations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the really cool thing is that the gun won't fire if you're wrong.
By your
Like,
algorithms.
yeah, it's like, if
That's so
look, man,
cool.
if this is not the right decision, it's not going to fire. You know right away. You're able to your body will be able to respond, instead of sometimes when you go later and you go back and you look at it, it's easy to go back and look at it, but to actually be in the situation and realize that
You have
I think
about a
it's gonna-
half a second to make a split second decision because if it's life or death, you don't know,
Yeah.
and you just go with your gut.
And
Your
these
gut
police
says pull.
officers, they deal
They deal with it all the time,
They deal with everybody on their worst day.
except
Yeah.
in Canada.
Except in Canada.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you're either getting somebody that's really not a good person at all, which they deal with all the time, and then you also deal with the person that might be a really good person, but this is their worst day, and that's what they see day in and day out, and a lot of question marks every day that they have to leave, leave their family at home, and family doesn't know if they're coming back that day.
Through this whole political thing, just watching some of those standoffs, like the cops were just standing there and people are like right in their face, like yelling. you know. But my favorite part is when, like, let's say somebody else is chasing them, they were screaming for the police. I'm fascinated that they're yelling, saying, you know, we'll defund you, we want you gone, we want you there. But the minute that there's trouble, then they obviously are calling help.
I mean, I'll provide. So I've thought about this a lot. What it ends up being is people's emotions are just getting the best of them. You know, they're it's very easy to try to group people together, right? So if you say the whole LAPD is corrupt, the whole and you look at it this way and you've been treated a certain way, you're going to keep that guard up all the time, and it's going to be hard for you, especially in his situation where you're considering, man, if I make the wrong move, I'm getting shot. So let's go ahead and also take into account that they're also worried about their lives in this situation, okay? And he didn't do anything wrong. So there has to be that understanding, and that's why it's so important for everybody to look at both sides. It's not going to be perfect, but if we can try to train people to respond in the best way possible, that's going to help. But I think it's, again, you can't throw everybody into the same basket. I don't want.
But a lot of people are not listening to police right now. No, it's become a YouTube phenomenon. So
and
the cop is like, freeze, stay there, don't move. They keep moving. After a while, they should just listen. If you're not the criminal, and you know, like in his case, he wasn't
the criminal.
I would say, hey, I'll sit right here. I didn't do anything. They can see that body language. It's the people that are like, hey, I didn't do it, and they keep walking away. Well, you become more suspect. Yeah. That's why they say, why did you run? You see it in every like video movie. They go, hey, and the guy starts to take off. Like, you could have just said, what? And they were like, I want to talk to you. You'd probably get away a lot better because at least they're not the fear factor is not installed. When you go to run, then you got to go, what's he got behind the corner? What's on the other side of that fence?
And that's the individual standpoint, is that there's each individual situation. That person who is running is not helping themselves. Do not do that. I mean, obviously his peace inside, he believes, saved his life, and it's worth it, man. I mean, obviously it's worth it to have the type of mentality he has, and I hope that he's able to spread that, because that was pretty cool. That was a very good conversation.
Sounds like a mentality of positive change, right?
Bonita, you grew up near Chaz. What's your story?
Chaz.
Yeah. Why don't you chime in? You don't remember Chaz?
Zone?
Chap? You're up in the Seattle, Washington, right, area?
Yep.
Isn't that where you're from?
Yep, that's where I'm from. And what?
Nothing. What was the vibe up there? Because they still are
I try
trying
to
to take over.
my son to talk about when I call him, but he just doesn't want to talk about it. It gets to the point where.
So he's kind of done with the media too?
Yeah,
yeah.
Definitely. I try to get him
I think
to
everybody's
talk
done
about
I
that.
think we're all just kind of, I hate to say
That's
over
why these shows
it,
are
but
important.
I mean, it's just a lot. You have to watch everything you say and everything you do and however you look at people. It's just all one big cluster F of a mess.
And
Thank
it just
you for
feels
using
like
that.
every media outlet is just lying to you all
seriously.
day. You know, lying through their teeth all day long, and just smiling and lying. And it's just, people are fed up. We're done with it.
We just
we
don't know
need
what
something
to
new,
believe.
like what Darius is doing and what you're doing. You know, what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And
this is going to become the new news.
Yeah,
this type of where you could bring people like that who have the same outlook, want to help, but have that A-list celebrity to follow, because celebrities have attraction. They have followers beyond belief, but a lot of times they're right. In some cases, they're right. Like Darius talking about how this is going to go on and how this is going to happen. I feel we start mixing and matching different groups, different celebrities. Come do more of these podcasts like we're going to do every Friday. So make sure you tune in. That way we can bring in more of those artists, and we'll get this back and forth conversation. What I'm going to do for the next one is I'm going to bring some cops on.
Oh, I think that would be great.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in a couple of, I might be able to get some FBI just to get kind of a roundhouse kind of feel of like there. And I would love to bring Darius on because I think when they see his vibe, our vibe mixing, I think the police will actually give us like some perks to say, hey, if you guys really want to learn what it's like from our side or the other side, watch this podcast.
My neighbor is he's a state trooper.
Yeah, I know. I saw him
And
when I was
I got
calling.
another buddy who would probably come on. He's a detective. He does sex crimes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's got
Yeah.
great stories.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
we
got
need to have him
he's
on
got
here for sure.
some great ones and some really disturbing ones. But he's
Well, we'll get the
he
green
started
room
as a
ready
beat
for him.
Cop
Yeah.
and made his way up there. But he's from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring him on. Let's do it. See if you can set it up for next Friday.
Okay.
Because then I'll tell Darius, and I'm sure at that time when you got cops and FBI and troopers, yeah, I think they'll come on, and I think
Actually,
I
I
think
have
it'll be
another
a
cop buddy who's a black guy with the last name Love
really.
in the LA area.
Oh, you got to bring him.
Yeah.
Bring
I'll-
him
Wait,
on.
is he here?
I think he's in the LA area.
Oh, in the LA, so we'll bring him on the another Skype.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That would be awesome.
All right. Well, I think we're going to end this Friday. I think that was long. It went pretty long today.
It
right?
was worth
that
it.
did.
It was worth
fun,
it.
though.
Yeah.
You
A lot
guys
of
got
great
something
stuff.
out of it?
Yes,
That was the most
absolutely.
important. Manny, I want to thank you for coming on. Bonita, Cameron, and Nancy. So you've been watching the Ace Media podcast, and I want to thank you for watching, but we'll be again starting this next week, probably at the same time. I guess 3:30 is now the time. Cameron has now set the movement. So signing off
Wow,
on this
Cam.
Friday. He did, but he's a good man.
Glad I could
Yes,
help.
he is.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see
All right,
you next
peace.
week.
Guys.
Bye.
See ya.